Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about why I'm no longer straight edge. It's been a while since I talked about this in my last video about why I was straight edge, and obviously some things have changed. Last you heard I wasn't having drugs, alcohol, coffee, and I was also eating a plant-based diet, a vegan diet. So I'm still consuming a plant-based diet. Studies I've read have obviously showed me that this is the healthiest diet, and this is why I've chosen this based off of the studies that I've read. So we know smoking's bad and we know alcohol is bad. Do I smoke? No. And do I drink alcohol? Sometimes. I would say like 3 times a year. Not very often. I don't like the taste of it. I would rather drink juice or something like that. Why have I began drinking when I used to consider it bad? Well, drinking 1 to 3 times a year will have a little to no effect on my body. And this is how often I drink. Seriously, I'm not joking. This is just how often I drink alcohol. I really didn't want a straight edge label hanging over me if I was out with friends and they offered me a sip of their drink to try the taste of it. My thoughts on alcohol haven't changed. It's still bad in excess, in large amounts. It's really about what you do day to day and not what you do every once in a while that's going to affect your health, and that stands true for anything. And this is just one of those things that I do a couple times a year. I just don't want that label hanging over me, because if I want to have a sip of a drink to let my friend know if it tastes good, I want to be able to do that without thinking, is that even straight edge? Coffee! Let's talk about coffee. I began drinking coffee because I actually did further research on coffee, even though I used to think it was bad for you. I've discovered actually more positives with coffee than negatives through doing more research. So I no longer feel internal guilt when I have a cup every once in a while because I'm not straight edge anymore and I don't need that label over me. I recognize that tea is always a better option to coffee, and I recognize that water is better than both of those if given the option. There's always going to be something more healthy than something else if you're comparing things. Drugs. Let's talk about drugs. It really depends on the drug. I'm taking a prescription daily, and in the past I really wouldn't have done that because I was so anti-drugs and anything entering my body that wasn't supposed to be there. I've come to realize it actually creates more positives than negatives for me, and it's something that I do need to continue having. As for other drugs, I stick to the studies to determine what is safe and what is not. I'm even cautious if prescriptions are completely safe still. Always do your research, and it's okay if your opinion changes. You're learning and you're growing as a human, and this is something that I struggled with a lot when I was trying to decide whether I wanted to be straight edge or not, because I was like, well, I said I was, and I wanted to stick to that. I didn't want to have to break that, but yeah, I've changed and I've grown. And I wanted to add, in my last video I did mention that everybody in my life who does drugs and alcohol is in a bad spot in their life. That's what I had said. And guess what? People that I know who don't do those things are also unhappy in their life. So it's not necessarily the substances, it's just the majority of people today. I think it's important to just put your hobbies before those substances so you don't sacrifice your happiness. And that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. I hope this video helped somebody and it made sense, and I will see you guys in another video. Goodbye.